Alright, climbing rope fiber. This is vexing. We were still at House Phantassin. Were we still at House Phantassin, I could supply you immediately with any length of rope. And in any variety of widths and colors, too. I hardly need anything so extravagant. I can make something better anyway. You don't need to create everything, Anataeus. No, it's fine. I have an idea for how the fiber should work. Possible alchemist is rather enjoying himself. Possible. One fixed arm. What do you mean, my tiger? On my solution? Or just in general? Because each of these are 5, right? So like to make one pivot or one piston here that costs 40, I would be able to do this. These are the same in cost, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is a little bit more flexible. It's just that this takes up more room. Please, go back. Alright, so we got... What is this monstrosity? Why would you do this? This is a rope? What are you talking about? Alright. So we got earth, and we have lots of salt, and it's all connected together. So basically what we're looking at is we're trying to make one of these and just keep on repeating it. That said, this should be relatively straightforward. I'm trying to think of a fast solution here. Easiest would definitely just be making a track, you know, having this track go, turning them into salt, putting a earth in between, and then doing this. One fixed arm. I could see that, yeah. Very nice, very nice. Still thinking through how I want to do this. Probably best to get 2 done at a time. I bet there's nothing to skip a spot. Because if I put this here, and then I had earth, and then push it forward, that would be nice, but it wouldn't work because this would be in the way. I could still do it. I could have earth here. I could have just 2 calcifications on the side. Have 2 salts, and then just have a fixed arm, bring it from here to here, and then have two pistons push it forward. Somehow. I don't really like that solution though. And I'm not really sure that would work even. Another way we could potentially do this is just have this rotate. And then we'll have the two salts flanked by one earth, and then we'll just need to put them into place. Still just trying to think of how I want to do this. I think there's tons of ways that we can do it, but I'm not sure if I want to do it those ways. Because like, again, what we could do is we could have a track on the bottom here. Just have these. Bring this in, turn this into salt here. And just continually move this over. And that would get the bottom one done. The top, I can use a piston arm. Put that in there. And then the top, I can have another set coming. Problem is here that we're going to have to, we have to bond them, right? There's no triple bond like this. We'd have to put two different bonds down, or we have to have one of these. Alright, for that reason, it looks like what I kind of want to do is just have, it's gonna be a little bit slower, but I think I'm gonna make two salts, bring out an earth, and then just bond them via track, and then bring them on here. So it'll go, we put a salt here, we put the earth here, we'll move it down one, put a new salt here, and then put it on the track. That is my current plan. How well this will turn out, I'm not sure, but we're gonna try it. So feels like while I try to figure out the logistics of this, I think I'm committing to this. So let's start off with the basic here. We want to grab, want to rotate, want to get our salt, want to reset, then we're going to have another one. This doesn't move, right? That's the whole point of the piston. So it would have to be here. This should work, I think. Does this not get... This doesn't turn into salt, huh? That sucks. Alright, well. New plan then. I think we'll have to come up with a new plan in general, because that didn't seem like it was gonna work out logistically. Alright, grab. Rotate. Drop. Too slow. I think this is fine right now. Let's try this. Why? Does it take 2 to get rid of it? Oh, it's because it's repeating the cycle right away. Okay, there's that. I mean, maybe I should just do this simple. Straightforward. Because the idea here is what I'd like to do is I'd like to always have this working. Like, I don't want this to ever just be open, or this earth just be sitting here. I kind of want it to be working at all times. So I'm trying to figure out a way where I can kind of get that to work. But I think I'm just making it too convoluted. Because, I mean, one way we could do things is just do something like this. We'll have the earth be put here, salt here, turn it over. Could even do this here if we want to. This is just stupid enough to work. Except it can't, because we don't have enough. The piston doesn't go far enough. That sucks. If we had one more to go, we could use the piston back instead. Alright, now we just gotta figure out the right order. I think we want 4 to go first. So grab, move, grab, rotate, no, grab, extend, reset. Well, let's have a drop before we reset. And then 5, we want grab, rotate clockwise, drop. Then at that point, we'll want to grab forward, move forward, drop. 2, we will want grab, and drop. 3, grab, counterclockwise rotates. It always going on. The wrong thing. These are another bonding. Okay, so this works. Again, probably not the most elegant of solutions, but it's gonna have to do. So 6, we want to grab, forward, does this bond itself? Dude. I might have to bond this again. Do I need another bonder? I think I do need another bonder. It's not going to be a problem, but I'll have to add a little bit more to it. Back. Is not bound. Okay, so how can we make this a little bit faster? could set this bottom portion to go while this is happening, this top portion. We could make this work a little bit faster. Right here is when we want to reset. Oh, GPU, please don't die on me. Being some black screens now. If I suddenly go offline, it's because my computer has crashed. Just letting you guys know ahead of time. Alright, so... let's see. I do want to try to optimize this slightly. Not entirely pleased with how this has come out. It works, but I think it could definitely be better. So we would like at this position to reset back to neutral. So it needs to be here. I think we're gonna run into some issues here, but let's try it. That's a lot better. I'd like to tighten this up even more. I want 2 to move faster. Let's see if we can do that. You cannot. Can I get 3 to move faster? Okay, we can. I always get confused on like when I can drop and grab on the same thing, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think. I could be wrong. There's a little hesitation in here I think I could possibly get rid of. Trying to think of how. Slightly better. We tried this already. I don't think this works. There's right here at the end, right there, where we could get started earlier. It's while 3 is moving. I think that if we were to make this better, we'd have to actually manually put in things rather than having this reset instruction command in here. And you know what? I think I'm okay with what we have. I feel like that's the case with a lot of things, White Tiger. You know, having a lot of things can look complicated at first, but once you know what you want to do, it's not too bad. Unless you, of course, want to make it very weird. All right, we beat the average on cycles, and that's okay with me. I'm okay with that. This is all we care about. This graph right here. As long as it's past the peak, or it's lower than the peak, then I'll be content with our performance. And we got the average area, so that's all right. Fine with me. We're no white tiger. We don't do cost efficiency. Who knew that creating rope fiber could be so fascinating? It's not something I imagine they teach at alchemy school. Strong and resilient, yet light and easy to carry. I say a better rope has never before been created. He's really quite absorbed. The shame most alchemists think work like this is beneath them. Imagine how different the world would be if we applied ourselves to problems like this one. Imagine. Warming tonic. This warming potion isn't just alcohol again, is it? No. Alcohol doesn't actually warm the body, it only creates an illusion of warmth. What's this you're talking about? It's a long story and nothing to concern yourself with. He made alcohol for someone and called it a courage potion. And yet he still refuses to make alcohol for me. The man I made that alcohol for was preparing to fight to the death. You, on the other hand, are supposed to live. For a while yet, I should hope. Alright. So we got this. We want to make this. We have 2 fires and a water. So looking at the proportions here, it looks like we want to make these 2 fires here, put the water here, and then also have a round of salt for each of these. That's probably the most ideal solution if we could somehow finagle that. Or we could go the easy route and just have, for example, the fires. Have 1 fire be made into all the salt, and then just put the fire and water where they need to go. Hang on, this is the brainstorming portion where I just sit here and think. I'm thinking that if we want to go full super cost, we could just turn all 3 of these into salts at the very beginning. Or potentially we could turn water into salt at the very beginning, bond it to the fires, and then on the opposites, yeah, this could work. And then on the opposite side, we'll put this together. Those could work. How well it'll work, I don't know. But I think it could work. And again, we don't really care about cost, so we're going all in. So this right here will turn this side into this, but then we're gonna have to flip this and also do it on the other side here. In Toki with the host. Hello. Thank you. Hi everyone. How's it going? How was the stream? How was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue DX 453? I need to fix that. Yeah, I keep on forgetting. Apparently that does not work properly. But isn't it DX? Excuse me? I thought it was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Can't believe streamer doesn't even know what game they're playing. Gosh. But how is the game? I'm surprised they didn't add a 4 switch at the end of the title. What's wrong, V-Star? What's going on? Kentucky Re to you as well. $12 hours. How is it? Would you say you got very far into the game? Everything? What does that mean? Halfway? Alright, hey, that's pretty good. Oh, you haven't done with it? I still haven't played a Mystery Dungeon game, so I don't really know what it's about. We're playing Opus Magnum. This is a Zectronics game, and if you've played any Zectronics game, you kind of know what to expect. Basically, you have all this nonsense on the left here that you can use to create your product, which is this, out of your reagents, which are these. Basically, I'm trying to bond them together, do some alchemy, and get them to where I need to be. Right now, we're in the brainstorming stage where I do a lot of convoluted stuff, and it's not going to work out. And then we'll have to scrap it and then redo it again later. Critter Squad? No, this is not us sponsored. This is a puzzle game. We like doing puzzle games. All of our sponsored stuff was earlier this week, and all of it did not go very well because I definitely took way too long to actually do it, and apparently all of those games don't work anymore because I think they had a certain time period they wanted me to play the game in. So that went well. Because a lot of them were like closed betas or alphas, so I think they shut them down, or something went wrong with the installation or something. I don't know what's going on. I can't play half the games for whatever reason. The codes worked. I have the game, it's just they don't run. Like I'll get some error or something. So I don't know. Okay, so this solution on the left here will work for this right here. But because these pistons are in the way, we're not going to be able to do the other side. We could absolutely do something strange, like bring this water up this way, bring this fire up this way. I don't think that's advised. I was excited for those games too. They all looked good. It was very sad. We did play one game, Journey of Life, and it's a survival game. So that's what you would expect out of a survival game. Okay, so if we did it this way, we could absolutely do it like this. The problem becomes, how do we do the other side? So I could have a arm here and an arm here, and we could simply just do it like this. Do this sort of thing, and then have the piston on both sides, bring it down. You know what, let's do that. Let's do that. It's gonna be super huge and unwieldy, but I'm excited for it. Let's go. That there. Okay. So we're gonna bring this fire. Oh wait, this doesn't work. Oh, this sucks. I forgot, this doesn't work. Let's test it out. So let's grab, rotate. Oh, that doesn't even work. Okay. Alright, good night again. Thank you for the host. Have a good night. Alright, scrap this whole thing. Not worth it. It's not worth it. I did like the idea. However, I don't think it's worthwhile. It'd be more annoying than helpful. So one other thing that we can do is we can have tracks doing very similar things. We just have one large track on both sides for the top portion, and then for the middle portion we can have our own thing. So here we'll have the fire be brought to the side. And then we'll bond it all here. Okay, I like that so far. So we'll bond this all here, and we'll put a calcification here. And then the only issue becomes, how are we gonna get this water? we need a piston. It goes 3 instead of 2. That's not gonna work. So we'll have to use a track. Got the one with only one fixed arm. Darn you people and your optimizations. Very nice. Okay, so same deal here. We're just gonna move this water to this position, and then this will be done. The problem after we get all of this set up, we can definitely get both sides done easily with this setup here. The problem is going to become, how do we get those two sides together, and how do we export it? Because this is quite unwieldy. Might not be as bad as I'm thinking, because definitely while we're creating one side, we can move the other to a common location. But we're definitely going to take up a lot of space. Okay, so we're gonna follow through with this anyways, even though I don't think it's the most optimal of solutions. But all right, we got fire, so we're gonna grab these 2 and 1. We're gonna move minus. We're going to drop. We're going to move plus. Plus. No, plus. We're gonna grab. We're gonna move. Plus plus. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to reset. 3, we will grab. We will move minus. 1, 2, 3. We'll move plus. Well, we'll drop it first off. Then we'll move plus 1. Grab, move 1, reset. So we got our setup. Now the question is, how are we gonna get this left hand to the right hand side? During this time, all the hands are going to be on the right, so I could potentially just move this out to the left, bring it down, and then bring it to the right. Likewise, we don't need all this track, actually. So, with that in mind, does this change anything at all? I can move this whole thing down, and now I have this extra room up top. White Tiger, you're breaking Iceman's brain. Alright, so we have this. So during this time when it's creating this, I'd like to just move this out, bring it up, then bring it around. We're gonna have to flip it because this water is in the wrong position. So in reality, we're gonna have to turn it in like this probably. So let's see what we can do with this. This is gonna be some nonsense, but we'll try it. Do you think I could potentially rotate in such a way where while it's moving, it like doesn't hit this? Are we that good? Can we try it? It needs to rotate one more. You're doing the wrong mission. Oh no. Alright, right here is when we want to rotate it. Other way, other way. I don't think this is gonna work though. It's gonna hit the other one. We're amazing. I mean, sure, it takes up a turn, but that's pretty fun. See. Okay, now we need to get this all proper. Okay, so I need to bring this down here so they can bond. So I need to actually... right here, turn it twice. And then let go. There, I'll take a piston. Somehow? Okay, let's see how this... This is not gonna work how I'd like it to, huh? Darn you, tiles! It's not gonna work. Okay, I need to bring it forward one more. Then I should be able to do it. So here we want to grab, move forward twice, drop it. And from here, grab, come back. But why though? See, like, why does this not work? Because I'm dropping it here. Should that not work out? Oh. I always forget that it tries to reset the cycle immediately afterwards otherwise. Alright, is there a way to make this better? We need to bring this back because otherwise this is gonna hit this. But there's a whole lot of doing nothing here. Like this whole time, these guys are just waiting for this. Is there a faster method to do this? Potentially. I mean, potentially I could move this piece. I could move them to the middle here. I could have this done first, potentially, and then have this move while this is preparing. Or I can have this made while this is moving, move this. Because right here is taking a long time. This portion right here. Eh. Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, hang on. This. I think there are definitely ways I can make this better, but that's fine. We're gonna leave it as is. But now that I'm thinking about it, another way I could do it is I could rotate this and have this not have to be rotated as much. Like here, you can see I have to rotate this twice, whereas potentially I could just move it down and then connect it to this, and then we'd be good. But whatever, it's fine. It's done. Don't worry about it anymore. Oof. Oh, we didn't even get the average cycles. I don't like saying that. I just don't think there's a way that I can optimize this without having to redo all of it. Pull out, rotate, rotate. Okay, all right. You know what? I think we can do it. I believe. I believe. So what we're gonna do is we're going to. At this point, with 6, we are going to move up all this. We're going to rotate it twice. Bummer. Alright, so now this is in position. But we're gonna have to, darn it, we're gonna have to rotate it in such a way where we can get the bond. So that means we'll have to put the fire into this position, which is unlikely. So this might not work out as I was hoping. So instead, what we'd have to do is put up another bond, which will increase the cost, but again, we don't care about cost. So let's try this instead. Instead of rotating it all the way, rotate it most of the way. We need to rotate it the opposite direction. And then from there, push the water up, bond them, and then output. Okay, I had that back there for a reason. Imagine that. Okay, here we want to drop it. Five. Don't need these rotates anymore. That was the whole point of this exercise here, even though we already had the solution. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we gotta figure out a way where we can put this in. This is our solution, and we just need to bring this over up one and to the right. Sounds like the job of a track. Yep. It'll take up more space, but I think this is going to give more time for the these guys to go back. It'll be faster. In addition to the optimizations we already made for it. So I'm liking what we see so far, even though might not be, again, the most optimal. All right, there we go. And if we wanted to optimize this further, we could get this moving before this came back all the way. Number 4 came back. Not entirely sure how we do that other than just repeating everything. Also, there's a lag here. Is there a way I can get rid of that? To have that for the rotation. I think I need to have that. Okay. Actually, okay, that's actually perfect. Alright, you know what? That's good enough for me. Let's see where this brings us. Hopefully it's a little bit better than before. Yeah, average. I'll take average. That's fine. Alright, that's enough for me on that one. The Tonic that keeps the body warm. If you don't mind, could you make some extras of this? What? Are you trying to make a few extra gilder on the side? Not everything I do is for money. Do you have any idea how many people could use something like this? Oh. I understand. You people from the houses can be so tremendously ignorant sometimes. It's a shame we can't make more. We never make enough.